In a small, dusty town, there lived a man named Samuel. Samuel was not a rich man. He was not educated. He was not famous. But he had something many people did not have, a heart that carried the whole family on its back. Every morning before the sun rose, Samuel would wake up. While the world was still asleep, he was already tying his worn-out sandals, preparing to leave the house. His wife and children would still be sleeping peacefully. Samuel would look at them quietly. Sometimes he would smile. Sometimes he would whisper softly, "I must work harder. My children must not suffer like me." Then he would step out into the cold morning darkness. Samuel was a laborer. Some days he carried heavy bags of cement at construction sites. Some days he worked as a security guard at night. Other days he pushed a wheelbarrow in the market. He never had one stable job, but he never complained. When rain poured heavily, Samuel still worked. When the sun burned like fire, Samuel still worked. When sickness tried to slow him down, Samuel still worked. Because in his heart, he believed one thing: my children will become great people one day. Samuel had 3 children: David, the eldest, Grace, the second child, and little Daniel, the lastborn. They were the pride of his life. Samuel did everything for them. When school fees were due, Samuel would work double shifts. Sometimes he would skip meals just so his children could eat. Many nights he slept hungry, but he never allowed his children to know. One evening, his wife noticed he was not eating. She asked him, "Samuel, why are you not touching your food?" He smiled gently and replied, "I already ate outside." But the truth was, he had not eaten all day. He only wanted his children to have enough. Samuel believed education would change his children's lives. Even though he could barely read or write, he forced himself to attend school meetings. Sometimes he would sit quietly while teachers spoke English he barely understood, but he would nod his head proudly. He wanted people to know he was a responsible father. One day, David came home from school crying, "Daddy, the teacher said I cannot write exams if I don't pay school fees tomorrow." Samuel's heart broke, but he forced a smile. "Don't worry, my son. Go and study. I will handle it." That night, Samuel did not sleep. He walked around the town searching for night work. Finally, he found a loading job at a warehouse. From midnight until early morning, Samuel carried heavy sacks of rice. By morning, his hands were swollen. His back ached terribly, but he smiled as he counted the money. David would write his exam, and that was enough. Time moved quickly. Samuel grew older. His hair slowly turned gray. The strength in his body began to fade, but his children began to succeed. David became a banker. Grace became a nurse. Daniel became an engineer. The whole town praised Samuel. People would say, "Samuel, you are a blessed man. Your children will take care of you when you are old." Samuel would smile quietly. Deep inside, he felt proud. All the suffering had meaning. When the children started working, they moved to the city. At first, they called often. "Daddy, how are you? Daddy, we will visit soon. Daddy, take care of yourself." Samuel was happy just hearing their voices. But slowly, things began to change. The calls became fewer. The visits became rare. Sometimes months passed without hearing from them. Samuel would sit outside his small house every evening, watching the road, hoping one of his children might arrive unexpectedly. But the road remained empty. Old age came with many problems. Samuel began to fall sick often. His body could no longer handle heavy work. He stopped working completely. Now he depended on small help from neighbors. Sometimes they brought him food. Sometimes they helped him fetch water. But Samuel never complained. Whenever people asked about his children, he defended them. They are busy people. City life is not easy. But deep inside, his heart was quietly breaking. One Christmas, David finally visited. Samuel was very excited. He cleaned the house. He even borrowed money to cook good food. When David arrived, he looked different. Expensive clothes, expensive phone. Samuel hugged him tightly. But the visit did not last long. David spent most of his time on his phone. After 2 days, he said, "Daddy, I have to go back to work." Samuel forced a smile. "No problem, my son. Work is important." Before leaving, David dropped a small amount of money on the table. Then he left. Samuel looked at the money. Then he looked at the empty road again. Tears slowly filled his eyes. Years passed. Samuel became weaker. Walking became difficult. His once strong body had become fragile. One cold evening, Samuel sat outside watching the sunset. The sky was beautiful, but his heart was heavy. He whispered softly to himself, "Did I fail as a father?" He remembered the nights he worked without sleep, the hunger, the sacrifices, the dreams he carried for his children. But now the house was quiet. Too quiet. One morning, the neighbors noticed Samuel's door had not opened. They knocked several times. No answer. Finally, they forced the door open. Samuel was lying peacefully on his bed. He had passed away during the night. No children beside him. No family holding his hand. Only silence.
When the children finally received the news, they rushed back home. They cried loudly. They regretted everything, but it was too late. Standing beside their father's grave, David whispered, "We were too busy building our lives. We forgot the man who built them for us." Many people in this world grow up enjoying the sacrifices of their parents. But when those parents grow old, they are forgotten. Parents give everything: their strength, their time, their dreams. And sometimes, their children never notice. If your parents are still alive, call them, visit them, care for them. Because one day, you may stand beside their grave wishing for just one more moment. And by then, it will be too late.